Good morning. It is 9 a.m. on a Tuesday, the last day of January, January 31st, 2023. I've once again committed to dedicating every day to becoming the most amazing therapist, an RTT therapist. I'm also learning how to make videos, so forgive the wobbliness. I've just been sitting here reflecting on my life and how much it's improved in the last couple of years. I've done a lot of self-work. They call it self-work, self-healing, self-love. Self. You're so selfish, Deb. That used to be the worst thing you could call me, you know. Well, there was a few words I was afraid of when I was growing up and started to become an adult. One of them was bitch. Like, to be called a bitch was like, well, they were fighting words in my day. If you somebody heard that you called them a bitch, it was going to be, they were throwing their books down in the hallway and ready to lunge at you. And I grew up in a home where we weren't allowed to raise our voices. There was no cussing. There was no alcohol, no drugs, no cussing, no drugs, no alcohol. Even on TV, we were not allowed to watch rated R movies. So my home life was very quiet, very peaceful, at least pretty for the most part. But, those were just situations I never felt I would be prepared for. So, to be called a bitch was terrifying, or to be called selfish, because I was told that was probably the worst thing you could be, selfish. And I feel like I've spent the last couple of years since I've chosen to end my last partnership as a single woman. And when I started my journey, I decided, don't commit to anybody for at least a year. I said I wasn't even going to date for a year. I was like, don't even go on a date, because my pattern has been, after getting out of a relationship, I see it as like the vultures were circling. They were, oh, Deb's going through a hard time. Her guy's about to leave. This is how I see it now. I didn't see it that way back then. I thought, oh, all of a sudden these guys are interested in me. I must be doing something right. Not realizing that I was emotionally vulnerable. I had weak boundaries. And I did not learn how to say no. In fact, saying no was another terrifying thing, to tell somebody no. Especially a man older than me. So I think that's predominantly, I thought I would be safer with younger men, because I was the older one. And I quickly found at age 49 that there were plenty of younger men. And when I say younger, I mean late 20s, early 30s. To me, that's younger. I wasn't interested in, my sons are 27 and 30 now. So, the late 20s was even too like, but there was that other part of me that was like, hey, why not? You're single. You can do whatever the fuck you want. And I had people in my corner reminding me of that. I won't mention names. They know who they are. They were the ones that were like, Deb, you're a grown-ass woman. And, you can do what the hell you want. And you don't need to feel guilty about it. But guilt was probably the most constant companion, I think, that's been with me my whole life. And I realized, oh, sorry about the shaking. I'm using my tripod here, and I'm just learning how to use it, so forgive me. I'm just really getting used to using the camera and telling my story, because I know that before I can become a phenomenal therapist, I need to be able to explain to people what it is I do and how I can actually help them. And what has been coming to me very strongly, every session that I've done in RTT, every RTT session that I have done as the therapist, I always get the same sensation that I'm holding my client above the water. And I have, it's similar to being in a lake and I'm holding them above the water. And I thought, well, you know, emotional is water. So, you know, I think I'm seeing myself as a lifeguard in the emotional waters, an emotional lifeguard. So kind of being your life preserver that kind of holds you up and helps you kind of just float above it, you know. And because every single client that I've had so far has said the same thing when they open their eyes at the end, and I feel so much lighter. And I know that's a broad kind of generic term in a way, like, oh, I feel lighter, but it's such a relief. It's a sense of, it does kind of feel like floating on water. So, and you know, when I say guiding you through the emotional waters, I don't know what those waters are going to look like. You know, I think that's part of the excitement that I feel, and the nervousness, and also sometimes the fear of, oh no, what do I do? You know, I got them out on here on the water, now what? But you just need to keep practicing, Deb. You just need to keep practicing. Learn how to edit. There's got to be plenty of, you can Google it. You can Google anything these days, including how to make my nose not shine this much. It's my luminescent makeup. It makes me glow, but it also makes me shine a little, maybe too much. I don't know, I like to shine. I like shining, I like glitter, I like light. You know, my life has lightened up a lot. I lost weight, which was really a side effect, and that was how I wanted it to happen. You know, my weight loss, I mean, I've been on a diet one way or another, trying to, you know, change the way I eat, or, you know, I've been doing that since 3rd grade, I think was the first time I went on, let's see how little I can eat for how long, and I want my waist to be this size, you know. It was when I picked up a tape measure and measured my waist and was like, you know, it's got to be smaller if I want to be like Miss America. That 36, 24, 36, you know, the perfect measurements. Although thankfully my mother, when I asked her what is the perfect body, she said, well, there is no perfect body. I said, I know, but what's the closest? What's Miss America? She said, well, Miss America has to have the dimensions of 36, 24, 36. So those numbers were burned into my brain at a young age, and I would measure my waist. Oh, am I worthy today? Oh, it's a little bit bigger. I better skip lunch. I better not eat dessert tonight. You know, and those habits started early, like 2nd, 3rd grade, because I watched my mother struggle with her weight, and I knew that the reason she wasn't going out and having fun with other people, like, she had no social life. She was home with us kids all the time, except for church. So it was church and kids and her husband, and that was it. And that was what I wanted for my life too. I thought that, you know, she was doing such a good job of it. I wanted to do a good job of that too. But I don't want to make this video too long. I want to stop around 10 minutes. So this is just a impromptu turn on the camera because I liked my hair today. And I got my makeup on. I definitely need to wear makeup when I turn on the camera. That's kind of, I told myself, you know, the women I admire, Suzanne Summers and Marissa Peer, they don't go in front of the camera without some makeup on. So even though I'm home, it's my day off, it's my day to study and take care of me, which is every day. Every day, I told myself, ask myself 3 questions. What did you do for yourself, your home, and your business? So remember to ask yourself those 3 things, Deb, and I'll see you next time.